Hello world, welcome to Rex Arthur TV, where we discuss LGBTQ issues with an LGBTQ approach and an LGBT perspective in an LGBTQ plus planet. And queering science, theology, philosophy, and spirituality, where we discuss science, theology, philosophy, and spirituality with an LGBTQ perspective. And we are doing these two channels because we announced in both channels that we are taking a sabbatical from YouTube, to be precise, but not from other platforms. We'll still be busy on Twitter, Facebook, and we have now added a new one called Mixler. Mixler is where we'll be doing a lot of blog talk radio, and it is on the I'm going to leave the links under this video. Now, why are we doing this? Of course, because there is a court case going on about involving LGBTQ persons in Kenya, and we are part of it in fighting for our rights as LGBTQ persons. And I am on the social media platform. Of course, the leaders of the LGBTQ community, majority of them are both on social media and mainstream media. And for me, I'm on social media, but it doesn't mean anything because we are all together as one, working together. I have done all these videos I have done for the cause of LGBTQ persons, and I will continue till I die because that's what I love. I love my LGBTQ life. I love to see a planet whereby nobody will judge you because of your sexuality. And the reason we have two channels is because we are discussing, we are talking to religious leaders on the theological channel, and we are talking to politicians and even religious people still on the secular channel. That's Rex Arthur TV. So that's how we are doing it. And so we'll still continue through our Mixler, that's Blog Talk Radio. And I'll leave the links there for you. Now, the reason why we're doing this, we will come back to YouTube when a decision is made, either a final decision, whether we are going to repeal or the country or the court will not repeal the law. And for me, I believe in human rights, and human rights are freedoms. And when you repeal laws that violate human rights, you do very well. You know, any homophobic law is a Nazi law. Any anti-identity law is a Nazi law. Remember, in Saudi Arabia, women were not allowed to drive. That is an example of a Nazi law, because you are denying someone their right, their freedom to drive. You see, you have a right to drive. What does it mean to have a right to drive? You are free to drive. So women in Saudi Arabia, they lifted it. So they are denazifying their country. And this is what we are encouraging countries in the world to do. Denazify the system. Remove laws that attack people for their identity. That's what you need to understand. Whether they are a man or a woman or gay, denazify. Like now, Brazil has just done very well to criminalize homophobia. Yes, that is very important. However, the way I view homophobia and transphobia, it's first of all, people are like that because of ignorance, number one. So educate them. And then if you don't educate, if they are not educated, then you find they have a mental health problem. Then they have a mental health problem. Like what I would do even in Brazil is good, criminalize homophobia and transphobia. Now, if someone, because that's a good way of teaching people, you have to know law is school. Life is a school. We are all learning every day. We are learning new things. And law is a school. So when you teach people, you can teach people homophobia is bad by criminalizing it. Yes. Criminalize homophobia, criminalize transphobia. I'm very happy Trump has just declared on Twitter, for the first time, he has finally honored LGBTQ persons because it's Pride Month. Yes, I'm very happy. And I even tweeted to him. I can show you my tweet before we go. This is not going to be a very long video. So let me show you my tweet. And I did it both with QSTPS and Rex Arthur TV. So let's go to QSTPS and I show you what I told Trump. Yes, I want to show. I'm happy with this application. You can see I have replied to Donald J. Trump. So there you are. On the basis of their sexual orientation, my administration has launched a global campaign to decriminalize homosexuality and invite all nations to join us in this. So people have replied. Of course, some people are not. They're like, oh, the lying chief is lying. But this is what I tweeted. Congratulations, Donald Trump, for tweeting support for LGBT persons. But first, undo all transphobic and homophobic policies you have passed since your administration took office. That's what I told him with the querying science, theology, and philosophy, and spirituality. And I also did it with Rex Arthur. That's another channel of mine, but I don't really, I don't put it out for people to know. That's our station, Rex Arthur Podcast, a new one where we'll be doing most of our talks, and we've already started. And I said, thank you. Now start by undoing all transphobic policies, including removing transgenders from the army and removing house benefits for them. That will be the best gift for the LGBT community in this Pride Month. Also delete any homophobic policies in this month. Stand in science. And that's what we've told him to do. So we're going to wait and see what Donald Trump is going to do, whether he's going to stand in science. Then in my other Twitter, 21st Century Polymath, I also tweeted to him and I told him, this means the Equality Act will be signed to law. Thank you, Mr. President. Homophobia and transphobia are fears based in ignorance and mental derangement. To deal with these two phobias globally, you will have to educate persons and help mentally unstable persons. Because imagine you explain to someone homosexuality and he still doesn't understand. That person is mentally deranged. Yes. Because it's so easy to understand that a man can love a man and a woman can love a woman. Okay? It's so easy. Yes. It's very easy to understand that there are some men who love men and there are some women who love women, and they need to be given their freedom to do it. Nobody going to harm them. Nobody going to kill them. Nobody to go and rape them. So that's why we are working to repeal 162, and we do this by teaching people about LGBTQ rights and teaching about LGBTQ science to show people there is evidence that people are LGBTQ. So we are very, so for what we're going to do, we won't have YouTube videos until the case is completely closed. It can even close now, because the petitioners, the LGBT community, can decide, okay, they don't want to give us our rights now, let's just call it a day, we rest, we will try again another time. They can choose not to appeal. Right to appeal is freedom to appeal. You are free. You can choose not to appeal, and the case ends there. But for me, I am for appeal, because I believe Kenya has a very high potential to be a progressive country in Africa. And progression is what makes Asian countries do very well. They are doing very well because they are progressive. I will talk about why Asian countries do not even attack gay people. It's the religion. Buddhism had no commandments. No commandments in Buddhism. Buddhism is an advisory religion. They just advise you. And they never advised people to attack gay people. But sadly, Christianity and Islam